Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Learning Path. This is Dr. B. Meena, Associate Professor, Head Department of Commerce and Vice Principal, Shift 1 from Petition College of Arts and Science, Adyar, Chennai. In this video, I'm going to teach you what do you mean by marginal costing, how this technique will be used for management in planning and profit planning, how they can have a analysis over the cost and then sales and then the profit. So let me check the concepts relate to marginal costing. Click the I button to view more videos in my channel, the concepts related to cost accounting like standard costing, contract costing, and then process costing. These three chapters, along with the marginal costing and operating costing, will be the syllabus for the BCom General and BCom Accounting Finance students. One is going to appear for the final semester university examination. Please make use of my videos under standard costing, process costing, contract costing, and please prepare yourself for your final semester examination. Wish you all the best. Let me check what are the concepts related to marginal costing. First, we'll check the meaning. What do you mean by marginal cost? Marginal cost, I can say otherwise call it as variable cost. Why it is variable cost? Because it's an additional cost of producing an additional unit of a product. So that's why it is also known as variable cost. The best examples of marginal cost are direct material, direct wages, direct expenses, and variable overheads. So we can say marginal cost or variable cost is equal to the summation of prime cost and total variable overheads, or I can say total cost minus fixed cost. So many of them studied business economics either in school time or in the first year. Those who studied BCom general, you have a concept of cost curves. So we will have a classification of costs, fixed costs and variable costs in the short period. I already told you the meaning of types of costs in the previous videos. Please have an understanding, clear-cut understanding by watching my previous videos. Fixed cost, which remains constant, whatever be the volume of output. I mean, either the production is 0 or production is 100 units or 500 units, the fixed cost remains constant. But there is another type of cost, that is variable cost. It will vary, it will change as per the volume of output, as per the volume of production. But fixed cost remains static, rigid, whatever can be the volume of production. So I can say this variable costs, I mean, whatever cost that I incurred for procuring the variable inputs. The variable inputs are raw materials. And then I need to pay the wages for the labor. So if I decided that I'm going to increase my production means I need to engage more labors. Then automatically the wages that I'm going to pay to the labor will increase. So these are the best example I can say. When I need more raw materials, when I decided to increase my production, when I'm going to restrict the requirement of materials, when I'm going to restrict my production because the demand is dull for my product in the market. So I can say, I can conclude myself, the variable cost is the cost that will vary as per the volume of output. Say for example, the material cost per unit is, the material cost per unit, the raw material cost per unit is 10 rupees. For 1 unit, it is 10 rupees. Okay. If I'm going to purchase 10 units means the cost is 100. The cost is 100. If I'm going to purchase 150 means then the cost is like that. I can, the variable cost may increase. So if I'm going to increase my production, then my variable cost will increase. If I'm going to restrict my production, then variable cost will decrease. Okay. So that is related to my volume of output. So it may vary as per the volume of output. That's why it is called as variable cost. Now, the marginal cost, say for example, at present I'm producing 100 units. At present I'm producing 100 units. Okay. And then the cost is 1000 rupees. The cost is 1000 rupees. If I'm going to, I decided to produce 110 units, 110 units, then the cost is, say for example, 1100. So the earlier cost is 1000 and the new cost is 1100. The difference, 1100 minus 1100 I am getting. That 100 is called as the additional cost of producing an additional unit of product. That is marginal cost. So how to calculate the marginal cost? These are all the formulas. Prime cost you know very well because we discussed very in a detailed manner. All the direct expenses or collectively call it as prime cost. So what are the direct costs? Direct wages, direct material, direct expenses. I mentioned over here, direct material, direct wages, direct expenses, or collectively call it as prime cost. So along with the prime cost, if I'm going to consider the variable overheads, then it will be a marginal cost. Okay. In another way also we can able to calculate, because the total cost is a summation of fixed cost and variable cost. The total cost is a summation of fixed cost and variable cost. If I knew the total cost, if I knew the fixed cost, but I don't know what is the variable cost means, I can substitute this formula also to know the variable cost. What is that? Total cost minus fixed cost, right? Then after knowing the marginal cost, we must know the meaning of marginal costing. What do you mean by marginal costing? It's a technique used in conjunction with the any method of cost ascertainment, and deriving the cost volume here represents the sales. Okay, the cost, sales, and as per the marginal costing, whatever we are producing, that is sold out. There is no closing stock. As per the margin, there are some assumptions. The very important assumption is there is no closing stock as per marginal costing. So volume here represents both sales and production. Whatever I'm producing, I'm going to sell as per this marginal costing assumption. So it derives cost, sales, profit relationship by differentiating between what is fixed cost and what is variable cost. So this is the real meaning for marginal costing. Marginal cost is the variable cost. It's an additional cost of producing additional unit of a product. Okay. Then in what way we will calculate? What are the examples for explaining the variable cost? But marginal costing is the technique used in conjunction with any method, combined with any method to calculate the cost. What is the cost? By analyzing the relationship of cost and then sales and profit by differentiating between fixed and variable costs. Then we will move on to the next concept. What is cost volume profit analysis? It's an analysis of three variables. What are the three variables? The concept itself you could have understood. Cost, volume here it represents sales or production, profit. We are going to analyze these three variables of each and every company in order to plan in future what could be the cost, what could be the sales, then what could be the profit in the near future. So it measures the variations of cost and volumes and their impact on profit. The next concept, very important, we are going to start discussing what is fixed cost. I said in the previous videos also, when I took cost accounting introduction playlist, under the playlist cost accounting introduction, I gave the meaning in detail of what about the fixed cost, what about the variable cost. Just click the I button and look at the playlist of cost accounting introduction and knew the more meaning on fixed cost and variable cost. It is the cost which remains constant irrespective of the volume of production. It also termed as, what are the other names? Period cost or time cost. Fixed costs are fixed in total. I mean, I can say total cost is equal to total fixed cost and plus total variable cost. I repeat, total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. So total cost is the combination of total fixed cost and total variable cost. So this total fixed cost or fixed in total, but variable per unit. So when you watch my previous videos in cost accounting introduction, you will understand more how it vary as per unit. Okay, say for example, I can say orally, 10,000 rupees is my total fixed cost. Listen the example very clearly. 10,000 is my total fixed cost. If I'm going to produce 100 units, if I'm going to produce 100 units, means what is that cost per unit? That is fixed cost per unit. I repeat, 10,000 divided by 100. 10,000 divided by 100 means rupees 100 is my cost per unit. Rupees 100 is my fixed cost per unit. I repeat the example. 10,000 is my total fixed cost and my production at present is 100 units means what is the fixed cost per unit? That is rupees 100, right? In case if I'm going to produce 200 units, 200 units, so 10,000 divided by 200, what you will get? Rupees 50. Rupees 50 is your fixed cost per unit. So what I want to conclude, the TFC rupees 10,000 as per my example remains constant. Either I'm producing 100 units or 200 units, right? But the fixed cost per unit will vary if the production is varying. Say for example, first 100 units I'm producing means the fixed cost per unit is 100. When I started producing 200 means what is my fixed cost per unit? Rupees 50. Okay. So there are three conclusions. TFC remains constant whatever be the volume of output. As per my example, 10,000 is my TFC, which remains constant. Either I'm producing 100 units or I'm producing 200 units. This is the first conclusion. Second conclusion is AFC. That means average fixed cost per unit. That is fixed cost per unit only. I'm saying AFC, average fixed cost. That means fixed cost per unit. It will vary as per the volume of output. For example, as per our example, when I'm producing 100 units, the fixed cost per unit came rupees 100. When I started producing 200 units, what happened to my fixed cost per unit? 50. So fixed cost per unit will vary as per the volume of output. I repeat the first point. TFC remains constant, whatever be the volume of output, but AFC will vary as per the volume of output. That is the third conclusion. AFC will keep on reducing, if I'm going to enlarge my production. When your AFC will reduce? When your production is increasing. When your production is increasing. As per my example, when I produce 100 units, what is my AFC? 100. But when I produce 200, what happened to my AFC? Rupees 50. So there are three conclusions. TFC remains constant, AFC will vary, and AFC will reduce when my production is increasing. Okay. So what are the best examples of explaining fixed cost means? The very best example is security salary. The security salary will remain constant whether the production is going on or the factory is in lockout. So that is the best example of explaining the fixed cost. Either the production is going on or the factory is in lockout. We need to pay the salary for the security. So that is the best example of fixed cost. I gave other examples also, office rent, factory rent. Even the factory rent also is the best example. Whether the production is going on or not, we need to pay the factory rent because I'm running my factory on a rental basis. Okay. The next is variable cost. It is the cost which vary as per the volume of production. It is the cost which vary as per the volume of production, just opposite to the fixed cost point. It is also termed as product cost or marginal cost. Variable costs vary in total, but they remain constant per unit. There are three conclusions again. That is, TVC will vary. TVC will vary, but AVC remains constant. Okay, I can give examples. The raw material cost per unit is 1 unit of raw material, you need to pay 10 rupees. 1 unit of raw materials, you need to pay 10 rupees. If I'm going to produce, if I'm going to purchase 100 units means, then my TVC is 1000. My TVC is 1000. If I'm going to purchase 200 units of raw materials means, my TVC is 2000. If I'm going to purchase 300 units of material means, what is my TVC? 3000. So what is our conclusion? TVC will vary as per the volume of production. When I need more materials, when I desire to increase my production. When the TVC will get reduced, when I restrict my production, because that time I will not demand materials. So what is the first conclusion? TVC will vary as per the volume of output. But AVC, that is, what do you mean by AVC? The material cost per unit. The material cost per unit as per my example is 10 rupees. So that 10 rupees remains constant. Either I'm going to purchase 100 units or I'm going to purchase 200 units. Only the total variable cost will increase or decrease. But the AVC 10 rupees remains constant. Okay, that is the point I gave it here. Variable costs vary in total, but they remain constant per unit. Okay, the examples are material cost, direct wages. That is, material cost will vary automatically when I'm going to purchase more materials because I decided to increase my production. And labor cost will reduce when I decided to restrict my production because I need only less number of labors. So these are the examples of explaining variable costs. Then we need to understand the concept in margin costing. What is contribution? What is the contribution of the company towards the fixed costs? That means if the contribution is more, then only the profitability of the company will be more. What is that contribution? So the contribution is the difference between the selling price and the variable costs. So how to calculate the contribution for a company? It's a difference between the selling price and the variable cost. The difference between the selling price and variable cost that gives you contribution, that contribution will always more than fixed cost mean definitely the company is earning profits. If the contribution is unable to cover the fixed cost means, then definitely the company is incurring loss. So we need to check whether the company is able to cover the fixed cost after comparing the sales and variable costs, then we will get contribution. So look at the meaning. It is used to find the profitability of products, process, departments, and divisions. It is a contribution towards fixed cost and profit. How to calculate the contribution? Selling price minus marginal cost. Marginal cost, what is another name? Variable cost. So that is another formula I gave it here. Contribution is equal to, in case if you are the problem has the information about the fixed cost and profit. So this way also you can able to calculate. If the problem has information about the fixed cost and profit means, you can make use of this formula to calculate the contribution. And if you have selling price and variable cost means, you can make use of this formula to calculate the contribution. So the companies want to earn profits. They need to check and ensure whether the contribution is more than its fixed cost. Then only the company may earn profits. Okay. So this is all about contribution. Next, the concept I want to highlight in this video, PV ratio. It's a ratio analyzing the relationship between sales and contribution. A high PV ratio indicates high profitability and low PV ratio indicates low profitability. So what do you mean by PV ratio means? Simply we are analyzing a relation between sales and contribution. Okay. What is break-even analysis? The very important concept and very important question. Many times they will ask in all the question papers. Break-even analysis, it refers to a system of determination of that level of activity where total sales are equal to my total costs. Okay. So it's a level of sales. It's a level of activity where my total sales means my revenue, where my revenue is just equal to my total cost. There is no profit, there is no loss. That is the level of activity. It is called it as the company, all the firms want to know what is the break-even point for my company. Then only they can decide what is the sales to be done above the break-even sales to earn profits. So simply we can say the break-even analysis refers to a system of determination of that level of activity where total sales are just equal to total cost. Total sales here represents when you are doing sales, you are getting revenue. So this revenue have to be compared to the total cost. If revenue and cost is equal means there is no loss, there is no profit. That activity is called as, what is that? Level of activity is called as, what is that? Break-even analysis. It's a method of studying relationship between revenue and cost in relation to sales volume of business enterprise. Then what is a break-even point? It is a level of activity where a business man neither earns any profit nor incur any loss. It is also called it as no profit, no loss point, or zero profit, zero loss point. So what's the real difference between the analysis, break-even analysis and break-even point means? So break-even analysis, we just determine the system, how to find the level of activity where the revenue is just equal to our total cost. It will analyze the relationship between revenue and cost in relation to the sales volume of the company. That is break-even analysis. Break-even point, it's the amount of sales. It's the amount of sales where a firm neither earns profit nor incurring loss. So we can say that point is no profit, no loss point, or zero profit, zero loss point. That is break-even point. A next concept I want to highlight, margin of safety. What is the margin of safety? I can say it's a cushion sales. It's a cushion sales for a company. Why I am terming it's a cushion sales means, say for example, I will explain through one small example, listen clearly. My break-even sales is, for my company, break-even sales is 500 units. What is my break-even sales for my company? 500 units. At present, my actual sales, break-even point means it's a break-even sales only. So what is the break-even sales for my company? I said 500 units. My actual sales is 800 units. My actual sales is 800 units. Okay. So suddenly the demand for my products in the market is coming down. Okay. When the demand is coming down, then automatically I have to restrict my production. That time, if I'm going to increase my production, means definitely all finished goods will be in the warehouse only. Okay. So I may incur so much of loss. So that time I need to restrict my production because the demand for my products in the market is becoming very dull. Then there will be a question, to what extent I can reduce the production? I can restrict my sales. Okay. Because as per my example, 500 units only break-even sales for my company. In that 500 units only, I will not earn profit. I will not incur loss. But at present, I am selling 800 units. So to what extent I can reduce means 300 units only I can reduce. That's the difference between the actual sales 800 minus break-even sales 500. What it gives? 300. So to the extent of 300 units only, I can reduce the production. I can reduce my production if I found the demand for my products in the market is coming down. So to what extent I can restrict my production? As per my example, 300 units only. Okay. Then if I'm going to reduce below, or there is more than 300 means, what happened? My sales, the actual sales is coming below the break-even sales. My actual sales coming below the, say for example, I decided to reduce the production by 400 units. By 400 units. Definitely, I can say the firm may incur loss only. Because what is the break-even sales for my company? 500. Okay. But what happened? I'm going to reduce 400 means definitely what happened to my break-even sales? That is sales. It is coming below the break-even sales. So whenever your sales below the break-even, definitely the company may incur loss. Whenever your sales is more than the break-even, then only the company may earn profits. So every company want to know what is the cushion sales, what is the margin of safety, how to calculate it. It's a difference between actual sales and break-even sales. Firms with high margin of safety can survive ups and downs in business. Firms operating with very thin MOS can succumb or capitulate with when severe competitions or recession is faced. Okay, so but this is the purpose why all the companies want to know the margin of safety. I'll always ensure to have a high MOS because only those companies can survive at any point of recessions in the business. The next concept is angle of incidence. When I'm going to explain the next slide, the break-even chart, that time you will understand what is angle of incidence. That is a graphical representation of margin cost data, that is break-even chart. The total cost line and sales line cross each other. The point of that crossing is termed as break-even point. The angle, what angle I'm getting, that angle which sales line crosses the total cost line is called angle of incidence. The bigger is the angle, the more will be the contribution and profit with every additional sales. So this is all about angle of incidence. And look at the break-even chart. It's a, I said no, the margin costing, that is break-even chart. It's a graphical representation of a margin costing. It shows the interrelationship between the cost and the sales and the profit. I want to highlight the explanation for the graphical presentation of margin costing in this video. Let me check the graphical representation. The OX axis here, it represents sales and output. Why they mention sales and output? Can you recall the point I started explaining the margin costing? That is an assumption under margin costing techniques is suitable only for short period. It's suitable only for short period, not for a long period. Under short period only, we will have two classifications of cost. One is fixed cost, another one is variable cost. So what is the main assumption of margin costing? Main assumption of margin costing is there is no closing stock. That means whatever output I am producing just equal to my sales. So sales and output is same as in the margin costing assumption. So that's why I mentioned OX axis as sales and output, 1000 units, 2000 units, 3000 units, like that. I want to put it here. Here are all sales and output in units. And OY axis represents the cost and revenue. What is my cost? What is my revenue? That I mentioned 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, like that. Now I want to explain the curves. The total cost curve, can you see that? The total cost curve is started from 80,000. That is 80, that is, just look into that Y axis, cost revenue in rupees, three zeros I mentioned it. That means I showed only 80 here, but the value is really 80,000. So what I want to explain to you, the total cost curve, is started from 80,000. It started from 80,000, right? So total cost curve started from 80,000, not from the origin, not from the origin. Do you know the meaning behind this? Why the total cost curve is not started from the origin? My question to you is, why the total cost curve not started from the origin in marginal costing technique? That is a point behind that. Total cost is the combination of total fixed cost and total variable cost. What do you mean by total fixed cost? It is the cost which remains constant. Either my production is zero or my production is increasing or decreasing. So T total cost is the summation of TFC plus TVC. TC is equal to TFC plus TVC. When my production is zero, even I will incur fixed costs. Even I will incur fixed costs. That's why the total cost curve is not started from the origin. Have this meaning always. Why the total fixed cost? I mean, why the total cost curve is not started from the origin. Total cost is not only the total variable cost. It is also consists of total fixed cost. So TC is equal to TFC plus TVC, but TFC may occur even my production is zero. So at the point of zero production, my TFC will be here and 80,000. So what I'm trying to say, even the production is zero, my total fixed cost is 80,000. My total fixed cost is 80,000. And from this, it will goes on increasing because I'm increasing my production from 1,000, 2,000 and 3,000. Because whenever I'm increasing the production, my TVC will increase. So again, I'm repeating, TC is the combination of TFC plus TVC. So TC curve will start from somehow on the OY axis. That is, as per our example, 80,000 is my TFC, right? At that point of production zero, my total fixed cost is 80,000. So TC is equal to 80,000 plus VC, that is TVC is zero. So TC is equal to TFC plus TVC, right? So at the point of production zero, TC will incur because TC is a combination of TFC and TVC, right? So at the point of production zero, my total cost is 80,000. This total cost is coming only because of total fixed costs. There, then if I'm going to increase my production 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 like that means, then total cost may increase because it's a combination of both TFC and TVC, right? So the thing is, I want to highlight in this break-even chart, TC curve will not at all start from the origin under break-even chart, that is marginal costing. It will start somehow on the OY axis, right? Then what is total revenue curve? Total revenue curve is the sales curve, okay? When you are doing sales, you will get revenue. So, but total revenue curve, this is the total revenue curve, the sales curve I mentioned no. So this is the total revenue curve. So TR is start from the origin because when production and sales is equalized. When sales is zero, my revenue is zero. When sales is increasing, my revenue also increases. That's why the total revenue curve is nothing but the sales curve is getting this shape like that. And then what is break-even point then? Where this is sales curve is called as total revenue curve. And this is called a total cost curve. So where the total cost and total revenue curve cuts, where you will get a point, that intersection point is called as break-even point, where the firm will neither earn profits nor incurring loss. Why I'm saying means, look at that. In this intersection point, 5,000 units I'm going to, that is my sales is 5,000. My sales is, what is that? Producing 5,000 units. Okay. This 5,000 units I'm going to, and in this case, this is, look at the cost and revenue. The cost and revenue I'm getting, what is that? 10,000. And then sales, for example, 5,000 units, and each per unit is 2 rupees. The selling price per unit as per my example is 2 rupees. So 5,000 units into 2 rupees, 10,000. What is my total cost? What is my total cost? 10,000. So in this point, my total cost is also 10,000. Revenue also 10,000. And what is my number of units sold? So at the level of activity 5,000, look at the pointer. At the level of activity 5,000 units, my total cost is equal to total revenue. That is break-even point. And this zone will be the, what is that? Loss zone. And this zone is called as profit zone, because below the break-even point, you will incur loss. Above the break-even point only, you will earn profits. The angle you are getting where the total, let's say, cost curve and sales revenue curve is cutting, the angle you are getting now, that angle is called as angle of incidence. If the angle is more, then contribution profit will be more. So this is the break-even point. So what is the break-even point as per this example? 5,000 units is the break-even point where a firm neither gets profit nor incurring losses. Okay, so this is all about break-even chart. Then we will look into the formulas, profit volume ratio, how to calculate the profit volume ratio. When one period information is given means contribution divided by sales into 100. So how you can recall this formula in a simple way, C by S into 100. Sales will be given in the problem. How to calculate the contribution? Sales minus variable costs. This is in total I'm calculating. In case in some problem, they will give you for a single unit. So how to calculate the contribution per unit means selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. So this formula we can use when we have one period information is given. When two periods sales and profits are given means what is the formula? PV ratio is equal to changes in profit divided by changes in sales into 100. Always the PV ratio must calculation, the answer must be mentioned in percentage. That's why we are multiplying by 100. If one period information is given means C by S into 100. How to calculate C? S minus V is the concept. When we have two period sales and profits given means changes in profit divided by changes in sales into 100. So this is the first formula you need to study under marginal costing. The next is how to calculate the break-even point. Either you can calculate in units or you can calculate in rupees. So what's the formula for units means fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. In case I want to calculate in rupees means fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Then next is how to calculate the margin of safety. We can calculate like that. In rupees means actual sales minus break-even sales, or we can apply the formula profit by PV ratio. How to calculate in units means profit divided by CPU. So the conclusion is whenever we are calculating any answer in units, the denominator will come contribution per unit. The next formula I want to highlight, how to calculate the sales for a targeted profit. See, I want to achieve this much of profit. Then what could be the sales is required? So how to calculate that? So it can be calculated either in units or in rupees. I said no. Whenever you're calculating anything in units, the denominator will be contribution per unit. So fixed cost plus target profit. In rupees means denominator will be PV ratio. Okay. Sometime you may have some questions in big, that is part C questions, profit from given levels. So how to calculate the profit from given levels means you can calculate the contribution first by applying the formula sales into PV ratio. Okay. Sales into PV ratio. Then once I calculate the contribution, I can apply profit is equal to contribution minus fixed cost. So this is a formula I can apply to calculate the profit from the given sales. So I want to highlight one statement, margin cost statement. It is called it as, this statement will be very useful to derive the formulas easily. Sales minus variable cost gives contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost gives either profit or loss. If the contribution is more than my fixed cost, then that is a profit. If the contribution is lesser than my fixed cost, there will be a loss. Okay. And by studying this margin cost statement, I can conclude one more thing myself. Fixed cost we can able to calculate either applying contribution minus profit. That is a margin cost statement, right? And then, or in case loss is given means contribution plus loss. So these are all the formulas you need to study under margin costing technique to work out the problems. Before analyzing what are the formulas, studying the formulas for the margin costing, you please check all these concepts. What is break-even chart? What is angle of incidence? What is margin of safety? What is break-even point? What is break-even analysis? What is PV ratio? What is fixed cost and variable cost? And what is contribution? And what do you mean by margin cost? And what do you mean by margin costing and CVP analysis? If you study and thorough with the theory part, then automatically the formula will be easier for you for various concepts. Okay. So with this, I will wind up for this video. Thanks for watching. See you again in next video. We'll start discussing how to work out the problems under marginal costing. Subscribe my channel, click the bell button. Until then, bye bye.